Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the STEM Digital School. This is grade 4 Natural Sciences and Technology. Guys, today we're just going to continue from where we left off last week. Okay, so just before we continue with class, a few ground rules or class rules. Guys, no bad language. Now, if you are going to use the group chat, please let's use respectful language. Even when you're talking to your fellow students, okay, and no private messaging. If you are going to use the group chat, let it only be on content specific information. Content specific information being what we are dealing with in class, right? Remember, you can raise your hand if you have a question or an answer, or you can use the group chat. And if you are disruptive during the lesson, you will be kicked out of class, right? So let us continue. Okay, guys, just before that, Melinka, could you just put your hand down for a minute, just for now? Then you can raise it again, or I will unmute you later. Before we start the lesson, I want to ask again. I asked this question last week to you guys. I want to ask again. Who of you guys wrote the test? If you wrote the test, can you please raise your hand? Just raise your hand if you wrote the test. Even if you haven't emailed it to me, just raise your hand. Please raise your hand if you wrote the test or the assessment, the informal assessment. If you did it, just please raise your hand. Okay, I see 4 hands are up. And last week, 6 hands were up. Right? Okay. I'll give you guys some more time. If you wrote the test or downloaded the assessment, can you please raise your hand for me and keep it up? Okay. Let me see, we have 2 more hands. All right, cool. You guys can put your hands down. Thank you very much. I will ask this question again during, or rather just before we end the lesson, in case we have more people who enter the lesson. All right, cool. Meninka, you have Meninka? Okay.
Ma'am?
Yebo.
Ma'am, who would be using such as bad language?
Excuse me?
Ma'am, why with the kids, why would we be using bad language?
Hey, Meninka, it beats me as well, hey? So I'm just putting it out there that you guys are not allowed to use bad language, even if it's to each other, it doesn't have to be with me, but like when you're addressing a fellow learner, and yeah, so we should not.
Ma'am, that's what the English teacher said. She said we are using bad language.
Were you guys talking to each other in a bad way? Or are you trying to understand what we mean by bad language?
Yes.
Okay, swearing. Swearing. When you're sending insults, when you're insulting another learner, when you're swearing at another learner.
But then the
that
only
is
thing,
bad language.
what I have noticed so far is that we are only just saying hi to each other and talking. So, but one day I did see, I think it was 2 boys. It was a girl and a boy. They were calling each other names. Someone was like a donkey face and so on.
Okay, yeah, so that's what they mean with the bad language. Let's just be respectful to each other and kind to each other.
Okay.
And let's not do that. And if you were not doing it, I know you guys haven't been doing it in my class, or I haven't noticed it, then just continue like that, Let's be friendly with each other and kind. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, guys. So what we're doing today is a recap of what we covered last week. Okay, so this is like an enrichment um, purpose kind of class, basically to just make sure that we all understand what we covered last week before we move on to the next topic. Okay, and how we're going to do that is via questions. All right, Friday we tried playing Kahoot. I think we only had like a few questions. Yeah, we only had, I think, 7 questions. But this week, we are going to have plenty of questions. And as you guys have requested, they're all going to be 20 seconds long, right? And I need you guys to get it. I mean, to get it correctly and get everything correct, right? Cool. So this would be an activity in energy and food. First question, what is energy? What is energy? You guys can quickly type it in the group chat or raise your hand. Okay, Tony? All right.
Yeah, sorry, ma'am, but I just wanted to ask that did you receive my test?
Okay. Did you send your test throughout the weekend?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I'm actually using my dad's iPad. I'm actually Bandile, ma'am.
Oh, Bandile. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, Bandile,
Yes,
I will check and then I will get back to you. Ne?
yes, ma'am.
All right. Cool. Right. So guys, if you had sent through your test during the weekend, I did receive a couple of emails during the weekend, and I am in the process of responding to all of them. All right. So if you did send your test, then I probably did receive it. It's just that I haven't yet responded. Okay, guys. Question: what is energy? What is energy? Nomvuyo. Nomvuyo, your hand is up. Just accept on your side for your mic to unmute. All right, seems like we can't get Nomvuyo on. Awande?
Ma'am, energy is something that makes us move.
Okay, energy is something that makes us move. All right, beautiful. Thank you very much, Nomvuyo.
And my name is Siseko. My mom put her name onto my laptop for some reason.
All right, Siseko. Okay, hopefully I remember that. Thank you very much, Siseko.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So Siseko says it's something that helps us to move. Okay, and then Awande, what is your definition of energy?
Energy is what makes things to move.
What makes things to move? All right, thank you very much, Awande.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you very much, Awande. And then Menentle, let's hear. Guys, send through your definitions or your answers in the group. Send through your answers in the group, guys. I need everyone to participate because I need to make sure that everyone understands. Menentle? Right?
Ma'am,
Yebo.
ma'am, energy is something that comes from the sun and it helps us to work more. By now, if we didn't have energy, we'd be weaklings and we'll be very slow with our work. By now, if there was no energy from the sun or if there was no energy from food, by now it'd be just like sloths, snails, or tortoise. Tortoise. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Menentle.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, so Zoe, just keep your hand up and I'll give you the next question. All right, cool. So guys, again, I'm stressing this, I'm repeating it. Energy is the ability to do work. All right, so that's the definition of energy. Energy is the ability to do work. Please repeat it with me. Energy is the ability to do work. All right, and all of those that gave me answers, you are correct. All right, and because you guys were explaining how energy works in certain living things. All right, so let's repeat it again. Energy is the ability to do work. Right, again, energy is the ability to do work. Awesome. Cool. Next question. Where does energy come from? Where does energy come from? Okay, let me start with Zoe. Zoe,
Hello, ma'am.
how are you?
Fine, thanks, and you, ma'am.
I am well, thank you.
Ma'am, energy comes from the sun,
Energy comes, okay.
and some beams that of energy that come into the earth, some are reflected back into space, and some enter.
Okay, enter the earth.
Yes, ma'am.
All
And ma'am,
right.
all of the beams of energy would come in, then we would the earth would be very, very hot.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that answer, Zoe.
Welcome, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, so I see your hands. Guys, send through your answers. Send through your answers in the group chat if you're not going to raise your hand. Okay, Lekatra, I see you there. Thank you very much for participating. Nathaniel. Wow, okay, I hope I didn't butcher your name there. Hope I got it. Sorry. All right, I see your answer that says it comes from the sun. Okay, let's see more hands, more hands. Meninka, I also see your hand. Okay. Meninka, where does energy come from?
Ma'am, energy comes from the sun and food that we grow.
Okay, energy comes from the sun and the food that we grow. All right, beautiful. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Okay, then we go to Bandile. I hope this is the correct one.
So
Bandile.
energy comes from different places. Like energy comes from electricity, food,
Okay.
and the sun. So
All right.
electricity is for like objects, and the sun is for plants, and food is for us.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that wonderful answer, Bandile. Okay. Then let me take one last hand. Adeline. 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 Right, there we go.
Hello, madam.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm well, thanks.
Ma'am, energy comes from the sun.
Energy comes from the sun. All right, beautiful, perfect. Thank you very much, Adeline. Okay, so most of us said energy comes from the sun, and I believe it was Bandile who mentioned the different other types, rather, of energy, right? Bandile explained that as human beings, we take our energy from food, and then appliances or other the plants, they get their energy from the sun. Okay, beautiful. So remember, when we get to different types of energy, that is something else, right? But all our energy, we get it from the sun, right? All our energy comes from the sun. Okay, next question. How does the energy from the sun enter the earth? If you guys had listened very carefully, I believe it was Zoe who gave us the answer to this question. How does the energy from the sun enter the earth? How does the energy from the sun enter the earth? Okay, Zoe, I'm not going to take your hand again because you had already given me that answer. Siseko, I think. It's here.
Ma'am, my answer was for the question before this.
Oh, but you don't have an answer for this one.
Uh-uh.
You don't. Are you sure? Were you in class
No.
last week?
No.
All right. Okay, no problem. You can listen up. Thank you very much, Siseko. Let's take Adeline. Okay, Adeline.
Ma'am, it's through the atmosphere.
Through the atmosphere. How? Can you give us like a simple explanation or a simple description?
Sun heats the atmosphere and then it heats our solar panel and we can get energy from that.
Okay, thank you very much, Adeline, for that wonderful answer. All right. Let me see who else can give us an explanation. All right. Let's hear from Awande. Guys,
It goes.
use. Sorry. Excuse me.
It goes
Please.
through. It goes through the sun rays.
Okay, so it goes through the sun rays. All right, and then what
Yes,
happens?
ma'am.
Then what happens to those sun rays that you're talking about?
Then it shines through the air.
Okay, so it shines through the air.
Earth,
So
I
this,
mean. Ma'am,
oh,
earth.
oh, the earth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay, Awande, I see what you're saying. Thank you very much for that, Awande.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, so Awande says it comes through the rays of the earth. Can't remember who mentioned that it is absorbed through the atmosphere. Okay, so I'm just gonna take Zoe to explain it again.
So, ma'am, rays come from the sun.
All right.
Some rays enter the Earth's atmosphere, and some they reflect back into space. They bounce off like it. I don't know the name for it, but it's kind of like a shield for the Earth,
Okay. Yes.
and that's what happens.
All right. Thank you very much, Zoe, for that wonderful explanation. All right, guys. So remember, the energy in the sun will travel to the earth in rays. Okay. Zoe mentioned it. Awanda also mentioned it. I can't remember who else. Someone mentioned that it is beams. Okay. So yes, the energy in the sun travels to the earth in rays. Then the earth absorbs this rays, right? And that is how we get our solar energy. Okay, so most of these rays are absorbed by plants, right? When they make their food, as you guys might have noticed when we dealt with plants, when we looked at plants in the first term and when we did revision, we said that the leaves of the plants absorb the sunlight. Okay, so when they absorb the sunlight, they're also absorbing the energy that comes from the sun. Okay, I think we have, yes. So you guys remember the slide that we looked at last week? We said we get almost all our energy on Earth from the sun. This energy is called solar energy. The sun is the closest star to Earth, right? And a star is a giant ball of gas which releases energy. So remember, we did say that the sun is also a star, okay? And it is a ball of gas which releases energy. Then some of this energy from the sun travels to the earth in rays. Some of the rays are light that we can see, and other rays are like ultraviolet light and X-rays that we cannot see. Okay, so I don't know if everyone was present and if everyone has these notes. So I just would like to hear from you guys. Can I move on? Okay, Anesu, I see that. I see that. Hopefully I remember. Okay, so guys, quickly, can I move on or do you guys need some time for this slide? All right, I see a no. Okay, no problem. Okay, and I also see a question. Someone is asked, or rather Adeline is asking, what is NASA? What is NASA? Does anyone here in the group know what NASA is? And if you do, please raise your hand for me. And then you can tell Adeline what NASA is. Okay, Kiara?
Ma'am, NASA is a company place where where it shoots people into space to take photographs of planets.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much, Kiara, for that. Okay, Adeline, I hope you heard what NASA is. Okay, so let me just take also another hand to also give us another explanation. I think it is Siseko. Yes, should be. All right, let's hear. What is NASA? Because as you guys can see, the picture here says the sun photographed by NASA.
NASA is a station where astronauts work. They go on space shuttles and explore different planets and take photos.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that information. Okay, so Adeline, I hope your question is answered. Kiara and Siseko, they gave us plenty of answers with that regard. All right, AJ, are you done? Can we move on? AJ, are you done? Can we move on? Just respond for me. Okay, beautiful. All right. Okay, so this is the explanation that we had with regards to the reflection as well as the absorption. Okay, so the Earth has a beautiful covering here, right? So you could also call it like some sort of cloud covering. And we have rays from the sun. Some of them are absorbed, right? And some of them just hit on this cloud here and they are reflected back into space. Okay. So we are going to look at the sun and the earth in greater detail when, or rather in term 4. Okay, so all you guys need to know in this case, or rather in this activity of energy, is that energy comes from the sun gives off rays, right? And the earth absorbs these rays and we call it solar energy. Okay, Bandile, your hand is up.
Ma'am, I just wanted to say that the reason that the sky is blue because the sun provides light and reflects the ocean. So that's why the sky is blue.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. That is a very interesting fact. I hope everyone heard that. That when the sun rays, or rather the sunlight shines on the water, then it is reflected back as the color blue, right? That is what you're saying, right, Bandile?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing that interesting fact. Okay. So even though, guys, the rays are absorbed, we still have certain reflections that also take place within the earth, okay? And that is just another example of how reflection also takes place in the earth. All right, I think we still have more questions. Okay, what do we need energy for? What do we need energy for? We have mentioned the definition of energy. We've mentioned where energy comes from. Now, why do we need this energy? Yes, Zoe?
Ma'am, we need energy so that we can move around and play around and do everything that we do. So if we didn't have energy, we wouldn't be able to talk, we wouldn't be able to sleep, we wouldn't be able to run, we wouldn't be able to even walk.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so I see Anesu in the group says we need the energy to live. All right, thank you very much, Zoe, for that. Let's hear Pandile. Why do we need, or what do we need energy for?
We need energy to make something happen.
We need energy to make something happen. All right, thank you very much, Bandile. Awande?
We need energy to live.
We need energy to live. All right. Thank you very much, Awande. Okay. So I'm waiting for other hands. Other hands, guys, to send through your answers in the group chat. What do we need energy for? What do we need energy for? Kate, tell me, what do we need energy for? There's a lot of us in the group and we are quiet. Unati, what do we need energy for? Toby, it's been a while since I've heard from you. Tyron, what do we need energy for? Cherise, Pamela Offense, come guys, Lesotho, Gabriel, Diane, Bremden. Okay. Meninka?
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, we need energy to do work, to stay
Okay.
alive,
Mm-hmm.
and to also, by now, if there wasn't energy, would be weaklings.
Okay, thank you very much, Meninka. As you said, would
You're
be
welcome,
walking like snails and tortoises. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's hear, Taran. What do we need energy for?
We need energy to eat, talk,
Mhm.
breathe, sleep, move, and work, and also
Okay.
play.
And also playing, right? Beautiful. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry for cutting you there. Okay, Onati, what do we need energy for?
We need energy to move, work, and to grow. Otherwise, we can't do anything, even to move from your bed.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Onati. Okay, so guys, here's my answer. We need energy for movement, reproduction, sensing, breathing, feeding, excretion, and growth. Those 7 life processes. You guys remember them? The 7 life processes. Okay, so I heard some of you guys said we need energy for the work. Yes, that is correct, but what type of work? Okay, so remember, where you can just explain further. Okay, so in the group, I see Anesu say to live, Unati say to move and work. Anesu added on to say to eat and play, so that would be feeding, right? And playing would be movement. Niklotlo says we need energy to do everything we do. What is everything that we do, Niklotlo? And then Cherie says we need energy to live. Okay, so guys, remember the 7 life processes. If you get a question like this, what do we need energy for, or what do we use, or where do we use the energy for? Then you would say for movement, for reproduction, for sensing, for breathing, feeding, excretion, as well as growth. All right. So remember just to elaborate on your answers. Okay. Then next question. Explain how plants make their own food using energy from the sun. Include all steps. Tricky. Okay, I think I saw new hands, but now they're gone again. Gremlin, your hand was up, if I'm not mistaken. I need new hands. I need everyone to participate. So you guys only raise your hands when I call out your names. Hi. Okay, Kate, talk to me. Explain to me how plants make their own food. Okay, just accept on your side for your mic to unmute. You guys can also send your answers in the group chat, man. Okay, it seems like we can't get Kate on. I need new hands, guys. I need new hands. I need everyone to participate. Dimpo, explain how plants make their own food using energy from the sun. Okay, can you just repeat for me? Okay. So Kate, your mic is on, but you're not saying anything. Let's try again. All right. Okay, Okay, so let's hear from Zoe. Include all steps.
Ma'am, so
Mhm.
plants, they get energy from the sun, and then they
Yes.
use the water and the carbon dioxide that was stored in the leaves.
Okay,
And then
repeat that. Come again. They make their food using what?
using carbon dioxide and water,
Okay, hold on. Where does the carbon dioxide come from?
it comes from the humans
Okay, so it'd be in the atmosphere or in the air.
in the air.
All right, okay. And then the water, where is the water coming from?
It's coming
The
from
rain.
the
Come again?
ma'am, it's coming from the it's coming from the roots, and let's say for example it rained and then they absorb the water
All
that
right.
from the rain.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, and the leaves absorb the sunlight, and that's how they would make their food, correct?
Um,
All right, thank you very much for that, Zoe. All right, there we go. So guys, plants make their own food by absorbing the sunlight energy, right? So the leaves do the absorbing, okay, and then they take in the carbon dioxide from the air and the water from the soil. Okay, and this process is called photosynthesis. I'm not sure if you guys are already using the word, but the process is called photosynthesis. Some of your textbooks speak about that word. Cherie says the roots absorb water, the leaves make the food, okay? And then Nicolata says the leaves absorb the sun rays. That is correct. The leaves indeed absorb the sun rays. All right. Okay. Then we have another question. Draw an energy chain that shows a bowl of cereal with sugar and milk, which gives you energy. Describe it to the class. So you can just quickly draw an energy chain on your books or wherever, and with regards to milk, sugar, and the cereal, and then you raise your hand and describe it to the class. Okay, Menendle.
Ma'am, I do have something that talks about photosynthesis, and also there's something over here about more about. So
Do you want to share it
your
with us?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Just hold on before you do that. Guys, please draw your energy chains. And then after Menendle has shared what she wants to share with us, then you guys are going to describe it to the class. Okay, remember it is milk, sugar, as well as the cereal. Okay, cool?
Right. So how much energy do we need? The people in figure 2 all need different amount of energy. The amount of energy you need to live on depends on 4 things: your age, how active you are, how healthy you are, and your gender. Your age. Children and babies need lots of energy because they are active and growing. Teenagers also need lots of energy. As you get older, you will start to slow down. Older people do not need as much energy as you do. How active you are. The busier you are, the more energy you will use. Sport people use up a large amount of energy. They have to make sure that they eat food that has lots of energy stored in it. How healthy you are. When you are sick, your body needs more energy to fight the illness. The food in figure 3 is good for this. Sometimes you do not feel like doing anything when you are sick, even eating. So energy has to be stored. That has to be stored in your body is used to fight the illness. That is why you often lose weight when you're sick. Ma'am, there are some things that you can that you can eat when you're sick. Pepper.
Come
Well,
again?
there are a few things that you can use to fight your illness.
All right.
So food, right?
Yes.
For over here, it's pepper, green pepper,
Okay.
yellow pepper, and red pepper,
Okay.
mint, strawberries, mangoes, broccoli, bananas, and sweet potatoes.
Okay, so that would be because they have certain vitamins and minerals that are stored in them. Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much, Meninka, for
And
sharing.
there's one more. It's your gender.
Sorry?
There's one more, your gender.
Oh, wow, okay.
Boys and girls use different amounts of energy to live. We are different, so we all need different amounts of energy. A tall girl will use more energy than a short, lazy boy.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. You do understand what you just read, right, Meninka? I see you have muted your mic there. Thank you very much for sharing those differences of energy. So Meninka just mentioned that we don't use the same amount of energy, and it would depend on our age, on our gender, and on how healthy or unhealthy we are. Okay. So are we done? Can you guys give me answers? Describe to me the energy chain that you have just drawn. So the hands that are up, are you guys giving me answers to the energy chains that you guys have drawn? Okay, I see Kate and Bandi's hands are still up. So let's start. Kate?
Ma'am, I didn't put my hand up.
Okay, it was probably a mistake, no problem. Right, let's see Bandile.
So like the food is the cereal and the milk. So the food gives you energy. So so the food, the milk and the cereal is the energy, and then the sugar sweetens it.
Okay, and do you know what an energy chain is or a food chain?
I haven't learned of it.
Oh, so you were not in class last week?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, cool, no problem. Let's just listen up. I will explain it after this section. Okay, thank you very much. Right, let's hear Unati.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Cereal also gives you energy.
How do we get the
For the
energy
day.
from cereal?
When you eat,
Okay, but how? Explain it using the energy chain or the food chain. Remember we did it last week?
you store the energy in your stomach.
Who is whispering the answers to you, Unati? Okay, Unati. Thank you very much for that, ma'am. Let's just get
Yes, ma'am.
other answers and then we will reveal the energy chain. Okay. All right. So I think Unati, it was, yeah, I don't think you were in class when we did the energy chain. No problem. It's here, Zoe.
So, ma'am, the energy is stored. The energy is stored in the cereal because cereal is part of carbohydrate.
Okay, so cereal is part of carbohydrates.
And then the sugar also gives you energy because the sugar is sweet.
Okay, thank you very much for
Welcome,
that
ma'am.
explanation. Okay, cool. So I see most of us, it looks like we have forgotten what the energy chain or the food chain is, but no problem. I will go through it. So this is what I wanted you guys to draw. The sun, right? Let's first focus on these arrows, the sun. So the sun will give energy to the wheat, right? And then the wheat is now processed to become cereal. Okay, so now the energy from the sun is in the cereal. All right, then we go to the sugar. So the sun gives energy to the sugar cane. Remember we said plants absorb sunlight energy, right? And they make food. Okay, so the sugar cane will take in the energy from the sun, store it in their stems, and then from the sugar cane we are making sugar. This sugar has what? Has the energy that came from the sun. Okay, and then when you take in the sugar, you are also taking in the energy. All right, and then we move on to the milk. How does energy reach the milk? Okay, the sun gives energy to the grass. The cow takes in the energy on the grass because it eats the grass. Okay, and then we milk the cow to get our milk. So meaning that we get the energy from the cow, or rather the milk, it gets its energy from the cow, and then it ends up with us. All right. So every food item that we eat gets its energy from the sun. So remember, we also had an example about I think it was about the mouse, right? We said that the grasshopper eats the grass, okay, because the grass got its energy from the sun, and then the grasshopper eats the grass. Then the mouse will eat the grasshopper, and then I think the snake will eat the mouse, okay? So let me just continue here. I think I have the explanations here, so we'll just skip those questions. So plants use light, water, and air as the requirements for plant growth. As the plant grows, it stores some energy in its roots, leaves, and fruits. Okay, guys. So here we have the example, and then we get our energy from the food we eat. We eat plants, and the food made from plants give us energy. We also eat the meat from animals, and they give us energy. Energy in our food comes from the sun. Okay, so whatever plate of food you are eating, the energy comes from the sun. And if you are asked to give a food chain or an energy chain, you always start from the sun. Okay. So plants make their own food from sunlight energy, water, as well as carbon dioxide gas from the air. The sun shines on the leaves. Plants make sugar and starch foods in their leaves. Then the food is stored in the leaves, but it can also be stored in plant roots, stems, as well as seeds. Okay. Then here is our summary, but we will also do the questions that we skipped today. We'll do them tomorrow, okay? So energy is the ability to do work. Then we need energy to do everything that we do. Remember the 7 life processes. Then we get our energy from food. Energy in our food comes from the sun. Plants use the sun's energy to make their food. Energy is transferred in the food chain or the energy chain, from the sun to plants to the animals that eat the plants, then to other animals that eat those animals, and so on. So remember this example here. Okay, so we have a transfer of energy, and this is either called the food chain or the energy chain. So guys, I will explain this again tomorrow in class because I think most of us are confused with regards to the energy chain as well as the food chain. Okay. So guys, for this lesson, we use the Siavula textbook that I said you can get on www.thunderboltkids.co.za, as well as the Via Africa Natural Sciences and Technology textbook, which you can get on Snaplify. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining in on the lesson. If you do have any questions, you can send an email to the school. The email is stemdigitalschool@africateamgeeks.co.za, and my email address appears there at the bottom. Guys, please do send through your your tests or your assignments. Okay, so just download them from the website, do them, and send them through to my email. Kate, video off, please. All right, so thank you guys. Enjoy your day further, and yeah, goodbye. Bye guys. Bye Anesu.